Hi, my name is Jamie Catalan and I am the SEMS Lab Manager here to talk to you about safety in the laboratories. UVM and SEMS are committed to developing a culture of safety for all of our students and employees. UVM Risk Management is always available to talk to you about any safety concerns by emailing safety@uvm.edu. The biggest takeaway from this presentation is that if you have a concern or are uncomfortable, ask a question. We are here to help you and want you to have a safe and educational experience free of accidents. No food or drink are allowed in any UVM laboratory. This is so you do not confuse what you are consuming with possibly hazardous materials you are working with. Closed-toed shoes are required in all laboratories. No slippers, sandals, or flip-flops allowed. Your instructor will tell you when safety glasses or other personal protective equipment are required for an experiment. Personal protective equipment, or PPE, is required for experiments based on a risk assessment of what you are doing. PPE is considered the last line of defense while confronting hazards. Administrative and engineering controls will always come first and do a better job of protecting you. Administrative controls are things like eliminating more hazardous materials from experiments and utilizing signage to convey hazards in an area. Engineering controls include controlling ventilation with things like a fume hood or increased lab ventilation. Ventilation in our labs is set up such that air is pulled into the lab from the hallway so that odors and chemical vapors do not escape into public spaces. For this reason, it is important to always keep laboratory doors closed. It is the responsibility of the faculty instructor and TA to adhere to lab safety best practices in order to keep you safe, but it is your responsibility to follow their instructions because safety is everyone's responsibility. Your actions in a lab can directly affect those around you, so make sure you are being as safe as possible to protect your community. Your instructor should show you where emergency features are in your lab, like fire extinguishers, emergency eye wash and shower if there is one, and where PPE is kept. You must take an online safety training and then an in-person training in order to use a fire extinguisher. Fire extinguishers can also only put out a fire about the size of a small trash can. If there is a larger fire, immediately evacuate even if you have taken the proper trainings to use a fire extinguisher. Even if you have taken these trainings and you feel uncomfortable using a fire extinguisher, the best thing to do is leave. Your safety is more important than protecting our property. Take notice of the closest emergency exit to the lab in case there is an emergency evacuation. By the door of every UVM lab is a yellow placard that has information including the faculty member responsible for the lab and a phone number to call in case of emergencies. If there is an urgent need or emergency like a spill in the lab or you smell a strange odor, you should call the SOS number, which will be able to dispatch out a physical plant employee or fire department depending on the emergency. If you call 911 from your cell phone, you need to specify that you are at UVM so they can contact UVM police. It can be difficult to get cell phone service in labs, so you should turn Wi-Fi calling on your phone on to get a better signal. If you are leaving an experiment running after you leave a lab, you must put an unattended operations form on the entrance door to the lab so that anyone who is entering the lab is aware of what is going on and they will be aware of the hazards in the room.